Well, good afternoon, traders. And I want to take a step back just to start because I want to have a look at the daily structure of what's happening in the NAS 100, the NASDAQ index there. Yeah, price has rolled over. We've got that bearish momentum cross playing through on the stochastics, but you can also see price trading through the recent uptrend. We're just testing that horizontal support level. So if that does kick on tonight, then I think we could go on to test that double bottom. That's probably the market that we're going to be watching specifically in the US. If we do see that selling kicking on through that horizontal levels, you know, I think we're going to keep focusing on that. But I think if you take a step back and also have a look at the comments that we saw from St. Louis Fed President James Bullard, he questioned the idea of whether 50 basis point cuts is warranted. The market's been suggesting that that's going to be the case. There's been a sort of 50-50 outcome whether we're going to see a 50 basis point cut in the July FOMC meeting. And consider that James Bullard is one of the more dovish members of the Federal Reserve. You know, the market's done this big reassessment. Have a look at the prices today and how markets are reacting. Obviously, I told you about what's happening in the NASDAQ, and I think that is a reflection that people are questioning whether we're going to see a 25 basis point cut as opposed to a 50 basis point cut. But have a look at what's happening in gold prices. And I've looked at the weekly chart. Now, we don't trade necessarily for weekly charts, but it gives us a really good understanding of the structure, the rhythm, the feel of what's happening in markets. We can see this massive hanging man candle playing through. Markets have traded up to 1440. The sellers seem to have taken over. We're trading currently now at 1406. So we're down 17 bucks on the session. If the markets close around these levels by the end of the week, you know, you could see a situation where we want confirmation in the lower candle next week. So definitely something we're watching. It's the dollar which has seen some signs of stability. We've seen a few of the dollar sellers looking to close out. Now, though we do have, as we go into US trade tonight, we've got durable goods numbers. I wouldn't necessarily be expecting them to be a huge market mover as such. But then again, you know, people are questioning this 50 basis points of easing, which had been like partially priced in. But dollar yen's had a bit of a move up. We can see on the price charge, dollar yen 107.46 up 26 points. You can see euro dollar back down at 113.56, down 11 points on the session. Aussie dollar's pretty flat. Kiwi dollar's seen some volatility today. We've seen the RBNZ coming out of their central bank meeting. That was at midday. We saw a really big move down from 66.38 down to 65.97. In a split second, the market was obviously seeing something, and we saw this huge move back. So I'd imagine liquidity was very much a factor in that situation, but it's come snap back straight away. The market is live for the August meeting and the July meeting, so one to watch. In the other currency crosses, I think Aussie CAD's a really interesting one. You can see that really clear double bottom on the weekly. Dollar CAD is also testing its double bottom, and I think a break through those kind of lows around 130, 151 would be very interesting. We can then tie that back to what's happening in the oil complex, because overnight we did see a bit of a pop coming through because the American Petroleum Institute, the API numbers, showed a 7 million barrel drawdown in those oil numbers there. As we go into tonight's one, the market expectations for the Department of Energy ones that's coming at 12:30 is for a 2.8 million barrel drawdown. The API numbers feed into that. Market will probably go and expecting